Yeah, it's time.
Hello.
I don't know if she's warning us or
Time for
telling.
the dudes. And we're going to talk about the seven beliefs for manifesting real magic, not
All
fake
right.
magic, real magic. So, all right, real magic.
Real magic. There we go.
This is the real deal. Okay. The first belief is there's an invisible but knowing life force within you that never dies. There's invisible but knowing life force within you.
Mine says knowable.
Oh, knowable. Okay.
Yeah. Does that make it different?
Yeah, it does. So do you guys agree that there's a force within you?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that the it's the energy thing. It's the thing that, yeah, like you were saying the other day, Andy, when you die, you lose a few ounces.
Right.
Yeah, it's that thing.
I feel like
It's
we
that
are like
thing.
vectors. Like we're always sending out energy and photons like a big vector.
Mm,
Like people are not inert. Like even if we sat here just listening to each other, like Lumiere is just listening right now, but he's like got a force within him. I can feel it. Like stop being so forceful.
Well, everything is motion. So that's what it is too. I mean, when you look at, the chair that you're sitting on, you look solid, but as you zoom in, you see like, molecules and atoms, and then everything is just like mostly empty space. That's it, just like teeny tiny bits in motion. And that's, I think, what we are, is we are that energy and the energy that binds all of those motions together. Is that knowing
Interesting
and knowable?
to think that when you die, like that's what goes away is that force vector thing that you got going
Hmm.
on. Like you're just like milk toast to the max when you die, but like till you take your last breath, you're just like a freaking just energy pod.
Yeah, like a energy converter or generator. I guess you're a converter if you convert like sunlight and food into energy. Like that's what calories are.
Yeah. So how would it
Yeah.
be different if we didn't have a noble life force in us?
I think that's the thing that separates humans from animals, is that we sit here and then we make YouTube episodes about our thoughts on whether or not we have a life force.
Animals definitely have a life force. Like my cat, when I was crocheting my blanket earlier, he had to walk on the blanket like 50 times
Yeah.
forcefully.
Right. And I relate, my most recent experience with knowable life forces is with the cat too. So and he's got all these idiosyncratic things. But is he aware of his life force the way we are aware of ours?
Hmm. Yeah, I think that's the thing that's kind of separates is like a cat wouldn't pontificate about its life force.
No, I don't think. But we don't understand the cat's language, so we might not know, or nor its thought process.
Hmm.
It just sits there looking like it's looking at the wall, but it could actually be thinking, what happens to me after I die? Am I real? Who am I really? Okay, a cat. But who am I really?
True. Why is this important for manifesting? Like the fact that we have a force, that we are a force.
I guess maybe because it then like leads us to some kind of cause and effect thing that like it's worth trying to manifest, and that there are, some patterns that the universe follows that would make manifesting uh, an actual ability. Because like we were talking about before, like it's not manifesting if things like accidentally happen out with that are completely like out of the blue, but it's more manifesting if we coordinate our desires in a certain direction and take action to make them happen in this consensual reality.
Yeah, think of it as like we have a force with vectors going all over, like lights hitting our eyes, it's coming out our chakras. And remember when my kid was little, aimless energy, because I can feel auras, with my Pisces moon. It's like aimless energy is the weirdest energy. It's like the vectors are going all over the place, and like the kid doesn't know where to point their energy. And it's just like really uncomfortable for me to be around aimless energy. But like very pointed, like manifesting is taking all your vectors and putting them into one pathway, right? And it's like, so I feel like to know that we have a force, whether or not we point it somewhere or not, like it's going to come out the sides, it's going to go behind us, it's going to mess up our room. We might as well point it at what we want.
Yeah. Yeah. It's manifesting is kind of focused. And we've talked about manifesting and focus. The idea of manifesting might just be that we're focusing on
It's like
something.
honing in on
Yeah.
idea.
Yeah. Which also invites a discussion about elimination. So if we're talking about somebody you want to fall in love with, you know what you don't like, right? So that's you're eliminating like football players and people that like reality TV and et cetera, et cetera. You're eliminating that. So I think we're doing that too. That this is like we know what we don't want, which means that we're focusing.
I
By
love
the way, I love reality TV
You
and
do?
football players.
Oh, football players, that's different.
I love it because people who
I
are
love a tight end, but really,
so like I feel like people
can't
who
stand the game.
resist goal making, they let their vector like get bumped around. Like someone's like over, oh, I'm over here, and they're like, "Ooh, shiny! My vector's going over there." And someone's over like, "Do this, do this." And I'm like, "Shiny! I'm gonna go watch this TV
Yeah.
show." Or there's like a shiny, but when you're a manifestor, you're like focusing your vectors so that if people are like shiny, you're just like, that's fine. But I'm like really, so it's like I think you're right. It's the elimination of other things that makes this part of focusing. And but I think there are many ways to live, and you can point your vectors all over the place. But like in the manifestor's life, it's a choice of goal setting and pointing at driving towards that goal.
Which I think is a skill to develop.
Yeah, if you want that.
I mean, if you want that.
Okay. So, should we give 5 minutes to each goal since we have 30 minutes and six more goals or six more
Yeah,
beliefs?
yeah, let's do it.
Okay. Belief number two is your thoughts are something you can control and they originate within you. Your thoughts are something you can control.
Yes, yes, 1000% yes from
Yes.
me on this one. Yeah, I'm not one of those people who are like, you can't control your thoughts. Like, I absolutely believe that you can control your thoughts, and you control your thoughts through a actions like curating your environment and, not putting yourself into situations in which you have to expend your energy dealing with things that have nothing to do with what it is that you actually desire. And, like if you don't like watch, violent movies. I mean, if you do watch violent mu movies and then you have these crazy dreams that have themes of violent movies, it's like it's kind of to me, you're setting yourself up for that.
Yeah.
I think you can absolutely control your thoughts. Yes.
I believe that too. I absolutely do. I agree with Daisy.
I think it's manifesting is a lot of mind control. And being a mind controller, people always think you're influential or you're manipulative. And I'm like, I choose to be influential, not manipulative. I would never mind control except for the greatest good of all concerned, right? Like, so it's like, let's say I say, what is God's will for me? And they say you should run an astrology school. I'm like, okay, it's good for all of us if I just run this school or whatever. Well, then I'm gonna mind control myself into making the most successful school that I can, right? But it's like you got to be careful what you decide to mind control about, and you got to maybe let a team help inform you and carve your vision so that it's like a collective idea of like, now I'm going to mind control on this thing. You know what I mean? Like, but people who get like carried away with their own mind control for like nefarious reasons, it's like that's a different kind of curation. That's like mean, detrimental curation. But I think here we're talking about beneficial curation.
Yeah. And I would like to practice some mind control too, but not your mind, my mind.
Yeah, do you guys think it's illegal to control someone else's mind in our manifestation theory?
Yes.
I think we influence each other through the use of things like memes. And I think we do it because we want to create an environment where people support us and kind of come to the same conclusions that we come to. So I think we inadvertently do it in order to influence the world that we live in.
Yeah. But if we have great manifesting skills, and I would love to see Jay-Z play a piccolo while rolling on a basketball, and he doesn't want to do that, but I make him do that. I think that's wrong. But I could say to him, I'd love to see you play a piccolo while rolling on a basketball. And then it's his manifesting yay or nay that makes that happen or doesn't happen. But if I had the power to do that, I should, I
But what
think.
if you sent me memes of funny and funny cat videos rolling on basketballs, playing piccolos, and then because you sent me all those memes, I thought it was funny, and then you sent me a basketball and a piccolo in the mail, then like would that be uh bad in your
No, the way you describe it, it doesn't seem bad, but I, I'm still forcing my manifestation on you.
You're all right, here's an alternative perspective is you're giving me the chance to co-create a universe in which me rolling on a basketball playing piccolo happens.
I think if you're an influencer and the thoughts you're presenting are beneficial to those around you, then it's meme away. But if it would hurt you, if you would be rolling on the basketball and hit your head and like there's a chance of hitting your head and dying, then that's maybe not good.
No, no, then I'd feel like shit for one thing.
So your thoughts are something you can control, and the thoughts of other people are something that we have influence on. So let's, be good people. And there's this quote that says the ancestor to every action is thought, which I think that is cool that in manifestation, things start with a thought and then they go into action. The ancients would say a baby must vision himself walking before he walks. And like they knew that. They would talk all about that, like vision first,
How they
action.
talk? I didn't know
Yeah. Well, shut up. Okay, number three.
that.
Number three, you guys must believe that there are no limits.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm with that
Yeah,
one.
yeah. I think you can't be successful if you feel limitations. I don't know if there are limitations or not, but you have to believe there are no limitations, right?
I think not believing that there are limitations is like brainstorming with somebody who, as soon as you say anything, they're like, no, 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 that won't work, that won't work, and all sorts of stuff like that. It's like you gotta be able to be open to all possibilities, and then that expands things that could happen or might be a good idea or whatever, you know?
Yeah, yeah,
I can only sell 10 beads a year.
yeah.
Why is that so funny?
It is funny.
How are you even gonna sell 10 beads a year?
I don't know. I feel there's a limit to how many beads you can sell in a year.
I grew up with that'll never work. Alexander's family, think about it. And for them, it didn't work. They didn't try anything because they thought it would never work.
There's a limit to what you can do, Lumiere. There's just a limit to it.
No, no. There are no limits to what that cat can do.
Yeah, there's well, I was reading this book by Lily Liu, this like existential philosopher the other day, and she was talking about how like when we break a limit, like all of a sudden, so like Evil Knievel figured out you could make a motorcycle go upside down and into a wheelie. And after that, he broke the limit basically, and then now bunches of people go upside down on their motorcycles. Right. And so it's like if we see ourselves as limited, we'll never break the barriers of, you know,
What's not limiting? Who are you reading?
Lily Liu.
Liu?
Lilylu.
Lylu.
So in manifestation, I guess if we accept limitlessness, then our manifestations can get bigger and better than, you know. And do you feel like manifestation is a theory of growth? It's like you point your vector to grow something bigger or better, usually.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And then we could use the physical world as a mirror or an example of this. I meant an example. Like I have a beautiful backyard and there's a fence there. Well, I don't want to see the fence. So the fence is a limit. You pull out the fence and then you can see all the way to the woods. So what we might be doing now is removing the fences.
Hmm. Yeah.
Or something like that.
So it's interesting. Can I tell you guys about a manifestation I'm working on?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're going to Norwalk and we're gonna have a table at the Northwest Astrological Conference. And like I'm like really want to touch everyone at the conference with Moira Press, right? And I thought of these t-shirts that like I explode charts onto wheels. Like so I'll take a chart and explode it onto four wheels. It comes from the architects that make an exploded axonometric where they explode a building onto several like layers or whatever. And I thought of a shirt. It says Astro School on the front. It's SXOOL, like Astro's cool, Astro School. And then on the back it says Moira Press Explode. And then it has the chart exploded onto wheels. And like, isn't that cool? Explode, Moira Press
Yeah.
Explode. But
Yeah.
it's also like it just makes me think it's like limitless. And like people are gonna see those t-shirts, they're gonna see the axon getting or the chart getting exploded, and then all the software engineers are gonna pick up that idea and stuff. Like I'm just about to explode with that meme, explode.
Ooh, good one.
That's your new meme. Explode.
And it just makes me think of this one. It's like going beyond all the limits, just
Oh,
explode.
yeah. Yeah, yeah.
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 Okay.
I mean,
Sorry to
aren't
take
the
that
limits
personal.
self-imposed?
What?
Aren't many of our limits self-imposed? We think we can't do that.
That's why this is mind control, because if you don't control your mind into to breaking the limits, then you keep manifesting a limited thing. That's what's cool about Fern's $2 million house is I feel like she was pushing this one, like she was going way beyond the limits of what people think she can do, just to be like a good manifester. You know what I mean? Like she didn't say like I want $100,000 house. She was like it's a $2 million house. Like I thought that was kind of cool about her manifestation art was this limitlessness of it, you know?
Does she have it yet?
Well, it's real in her mind. She has it already.
Yeah, I have one too. It's on Zillow. I could, I could show you. Mine's 3 million. It's in Springdale, Oregon.
Nice. JC, does this make you want to have more boyfriends, like an unlimited number of boyfriends, or does it make you want to have like the best boyfriend ever?
Yeah, we'll have an unlimited number of dates or like an unlimited number of like common interests and things that we want to do. Like maybe it'll be like just the one boyfriend, but like it will be like, oh, not only do we just like, doing, I don't know, going to movies together, we also like, playing games and we like seeing shows and we like hiking in the woods and, like we have like maybe it's limitless that way.
Hmm.
Unlimitedly awesome connection.
Yeah.
Okay. Your number four is your life has a purpose. So how does this help us in manifestation to know that your life has purposes? Life has some purposes.
Well, I wrestle with this one because um, purposes I like. You said purposes, and I like that more. Purpose to me is too focused, means you eliminate a lot of things by saying purpose. Like, I'm going to be an astrologer. That means you can't do anything else.
Hmm.
But if I have purposes, I can be an astrologer, a musician, a writer, a yarn maker, a bead maker. So purposes I like. Purpose,
Yeah, this
How about if it said your life is purposeful?
I like that a lot more.
Yeah, I feel like this contributes to the goal setting or focusing part of the manifestation. It's like you don't have to be this aimless vector. You can be like, I have bead making and astrology and Proust or whatever your purposes are. Like you have, we each can hone in our vectors on several purposes, and that makes a better manifestation story because you actually, it takes focus to make one thing happen.
Right, right. It does. It does. I like
Yeah.
the idea of doing things with purpose, but your life has a purpose. A purpose made me twitch a little bit.
Yeah. Astrology knows that we have multiple purposes. We have multiple aspects of personality in the chart and multiple poles, and like there's never just one purpose in the chart.
Hmm.
So,
Well, I think in a lot of the books that we're studying, there's like this whole thing of like you have to find your life purpose or you like your dharma or your like in some of them they're like you have to realize what it is you're here for and like that is the reason that if you like get behind that, everything will just fall into place for you, and it's understanding like your own unique value, and it seems to come along with understanding that we're all interconnected, um and you at the same time you have like a special gift to give to yourself and everyone. That's
Mhm.
what I think of about this whole purpose thing. It's like kind of like finding your dharma.
yeah, like I feel like you have the purpose to be like a hacker, but you're also a guitar player and musician and also a yogi. And if I think all of us agree that we got to find our dharmas, and then we will be we'll just be more fit and apt to manifest, because if you manifest your life purpose and not someone else's, you're going to be more successful.
Yeah,
Right. Yeah. Are you a hacker?
I am.
Oh, he is a hella hacker. He wins
Oh,
like
that's what.
competitions.
Oh, I did not know. I thought you were like corporate.
Well, I'm that too. I mean, I make money at my day job.
He's a corporate hacker. No. Okay, number five is you overcome weaknesses by leaving them behind.
Yeah, I agree. And that again, it says the next sentence says you cannot outthink your weaknesses and limitations.
What's it
So you
look
have
like to leave your weakness behind?
I think that it means like constantly learning, like and turning knowledge into wisdom by experience. So it's like you learn things and you live things and you have like these experiences and then you take a step forward, and that's like leaving the old you behind. We're continuously progressing.
hmm
So they call this a knowledge gap. I was reading my old journals, and one of them was talking about this, where as soon as you learn something, you're supposed to enact it. Like if you leave a knowledge gap, which means you leave things as they were before you learned the new thing, you'll feel this like internal tension. So as soon as we're learning things, we're supposed to be moving forward. And that's like the hyper manifested being. So a weakness could be looked at as something we didn't know prior. We were weak because we just hadn't learned a certain lesson, or we hadn't, like a baby is weaker than a toddler because they can't walk yet, but they were a
Right,
strong baby, but they'd be a weak toddler, and if
right. They have the same muscles. I guess they're developing, but they still have the same muscles. They just have to learn how to walk.
Yeah, I like that. I like the non-pejorative weakness. You
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
we could
That
call
sounds
it a youngness. Like there's this song called Younger Me by Mercy Me. It's like younger me. Like it's basically about how the younger me wouldn't have done what I'm like or would have done something that I wouldn't do now.
Mhm.
So leave behind the younger you.
Yeah.
Even if it was 1 day younger.
1 minute.
Yeah, like we're smarter than we were 50 minutes ago.
Yeah, absolutely.
well. That's true for me because I've been talking to you for 15 minutes. 50 so far.
Yeah, you guys accelerate me really fast. Like I feel like I step up a big step when I talk to the two of you.
I
Yeah,
feel the
same.
same way when I talk to the two of you.
Yeah, me too. Three.
So I like this lesson of like shed the past you as you go forward in manifesting. It's like, like Jay-Z is now seeing himself with a boyfriend, but like the 8 months ago, Jay-Z was kind of just formulating the idea of having a boyfriend. It's like shed that old Jay-Z who would like just like now you're living it. Like, yeah, my boyfriend he's just not talking to me yet, but whatever. Like you are it now.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Number six, when you examine what you believe to be impossible, you can then change your beliefs. Has at least one person done what you're trying to do?
Oh yeah, that's the Evil Knievel thing, right? Like you
Yeah,
can re-baseline that like this thing is possible when you, yeah, absolutely.
yeah.
So examine what you believe to be impossible. So that's the first part of this step. So Lumiere, what are you trying to manifest right now?
Another can of this.
Okay, do
Uh,
you think like do you,
I wasn't, but
do you think what you're trying to ask for is impossible?
no, no,
Okay.
no. And the question about, I guess Bayzid just said, which is that has somebody done it before, or one of you said somebody. I used to tell deaf students when they were trying to do something, I would say, or I mentored interpreters, and I would say, 100% of the people who can do this didn't know how to do it. And I think that's a really good thing to keep in your head because you had to tell myself that when I was learning how to build houses. Like 100% of the people who measure windows didn't know how to do it. If they can do it, I can do it. So I
Did
think that you just by looking at it, you can address it.
Yeah, I think that's true in like big things and little things too. Like I often use that mind trick as well. Like, I don't know, just like if you're getting a tattoo, like then it's like you're like, I'm just sitting here and like people get tattoos all day long and they're all fine and they just like, they're not like in pain and screaming out or whatever. You just like that's just what you do. And I do that at the dentist too. I'll be like, I've been to the dentist before, like, and they've like done grinding on my drilling on my teeth before and I got through that fine, so I'll get through it fine today. Like, that's a
Yeah,
I think
hmm.
yeah.
useful trick.
So, Jay-Z, do you believe what you're manifesting with a boyfriend is impossible?
Absolutely not impossible. I mean, look at all the other people that have boyfriends. How come they have a boyfriend?
Right.
Like, because it's like it's definitely not impossible.
And we wouldn't manifest what we're trying to manifest if we thought it was impossible. I mean,
Yeah, that's true too. Because
me
it
and
wouldn't work.
Jay-Z going up Mount Everest next week is impossible. And maybe the one thing that's impossible about it is next week, but it's still impossible. The way I said it makes it impossible. But what we're trying to manifest is not impossible because we're trying to do it.
Is it improbable?
Ah, it's picking nits. Um,
What if you're trying to do something that not at least one other person's done?
what would that be?
I
We
don't know
both looked
anyone
up
else
a
who's
we
made chart beads for everyone in the astrology community. No, I don't know. Sometimes I think you are, but you can look at people who've done similar things. Like Andy Warhol, flooded the United States with his art. I mean, like, of course, I can flood the astrological community with my art. Like, of course,
yeah,
you know.
Yeah, I think that's it. I think that anything, even if it's like nobody has done that niche particular thing, there are patterns of showing that like people have done similar things before, and that way
yeah.
it's possible. Yeah.
Okay, number seven, our last one today is you can go beyond logic.
I believe that.
Before we got on here, Lumiere, you were asking about if something was, can I say what your question was?
Yeah,
You were saying, how do you know something's manifestation or just a fantasy? And I feel like just a fantasy would say that's illogical. Like what you're thinking about is illogical. So it's just a fantasy. I mean, would you agree with that? Like
yeah.
just a fantasy is like it's an illogical vision. So like he's saying you can go beyond logic. You can have a vision that is illogical.
Well, I
Yeah,
mean, also the thought that, the world was round was illogical before everybody got on board with proving and understanding that the world is round. And like, it's just like maybe a lot of things that seem illogical to us at this point in history in, our development are not illogic. They would actually follow the laws of logic if you knew the facts behind them.
yeah. I think um, logic makes us sometimes think that things are impossible. I think we can be slaves to logic.
Hmm.
Like this has to happen because logically it has to happen. Well, if we said, I think it has to happen that way, we could defy logic.
Well, I feel like sometimes our visions are are logical actually, but they're not logical quite yet. Like it's like we see something and it might take us 2 years. In my experience, every manifestation I've ever done takes me about 2 years. Like I have a psychic vision and then 2 years later it's real and it's like that's like been going on for like 20 years. But at the time I get the vision, other people think it's illogical, but when you look at it 2 years later, it's totally logical because you've done all the groundwork to create it a place where
Right,
that seems logical.
right. You've defied the logic.
Well, like maybe 8 months ago, it would have seemed illogical for Jay-Z to have a boyfriend or something, but now he's done so many things in his life to make that seem logical that now when it happens, it's just like, oh, of course.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. It's going to be a point where you say, of course. Yeah,
It would seem illogical for him to not have a boyfriend.
Yeah. Yeah.
right,
And maybe that's what manifesting is. It's like making the likelihood that something happened in our consensual reality like more and more and more until it just like tips the scale. And it's like, well, of course that has to happen now.
Ooh, this is a good lesson. We should make our manifestations seem illogical if they aren't happening.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
that's good.
Like if you don't have terpenes from Andy, that's kind of like, what are you not being logical? I mean, if you logically want that. Like I don't know.
Yeah.
yeah. To wrap my head around.
Yeah, like if you go to the post office and send chart beads every week, then it would be illogical that like X number of people don't have them.
Yeah, totally. Interesting. That's going to be
Hmm.
one of my takeaways from today is that we have to create an environment where our vision not producing would seem illogical.
Right. Yeah. That defies logic. We have to defy logic
Hmm.
and make the thing that we want seem illogical if it doesn't happen, where logic might say it can't happen.
We have to exploit logic.
There you go. Let's exploit logic.
Well, that's a good place to stop.
Exploit logic on a t-shirt.
All right, well, JC, can you hang with this book for another week?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Well, I love you
Yeah.
guys. It would be illogical to not meet with you on Mondays.
It would be. That's not a logic I want to defy. I just want to meet.
All right.
All right, let's do that then.
Okay.
All right. Peace.